At about the same time, a cocoon fell from a tree into the water, very close to where the rock struck. The rock created a wave that spread and spread and pushed the cocoon forward to where it would not have gone if it had just floated down the river. The cocoon floated into a little mini whirlpool that many rivers have for some reason. It spun around and around and around and around and around, and as a result, it broke open. This was enough force, enough action to cause the emergence of a butterfly. A beautiful monarch butterfly, gold and black and very sleepy, but cognizant of the fact that he needed to get out of the water, spinning, churning whirlpool, which he did. The butterfly flew for the first time ever a short distance away and landed on the nose of a beautiful young woman who was standing next to a young man. The young man was on the verge of withdrawing, of shutting down, of not saying what he felt. But the butterfly landing on the nose of the young woman made them both laugh. As it would. They laughed. He relaxed. And he proposed to her, which is what he meant to do. That one action of that young man throwing a rock into the water caused a couple to get together. And they might have anyway, but maybe they wouldn't. What we do can affect many, many people, many, many things. It's important to realize that we're not truly by ourselves in this life, that we're with everyone else. Part 2. My parents, Jack and Helen Edmiston, met each other in Fayetteville, Arkansas, at the University of Arkansas. They were both journalism students. They were both in the fraternity system, the sorority system. They met each other, they liked each other, and then they loved each other. They got married in Fayetteville a short while later, and they had 2 incredible children, especially the boy. But they did everything together. They played golf together, they played tennis together, they went to restaurants together, they talked to people together. They were always together. And that was the hallmark of Jack and Helen, togetherness. They would sit, as we grew older and older, and talk to each other for hours and hours and hours about I'm not sure what, but they thoroughly enjoyed it. They connected with each other. It was remarkable to see that occur. Absolutely. And as a child, I was aware of it, but I was not totally tuned into it. However, something began to happen. Something began to happen that did not truly have a desirable outcome. What happened was that they lost track of themselves somehow. Everything was about talking and chatting and playing and whatever, and they forgot to take care of themselves as the way they should have. Over the years, each of them would gain a couple of pounds, maybe 2-3 pounds. Each of them, actually, they smoked cigarettes back then. That was kind of the norm. They would do that. They didn't exercise anymore. There wasn't much activity. It was a lot of wonderful conversation, but they didn't do these things. They became overweight, each of them. They became overweight. Much like 69% of our nation is technically overweight according to the Center for Disease Control. Much like 36% of the people in the United States were obese. They became overweight. And when my father was 71, he woke up one morning looking straight up at a white ceiling. Only white. 3 weeks before then, he had had a stroke. A blood clot in the left parietal hemisphere, Broca's area, which affects the speech recognition and the speech expression. He had a stroke. For 3 years, he was unable to understand what his wonderful wife was saying to him, what we children were saying to him, and to speak out. He was unable to do that. My mother, whose life was centered around her husband, went blind. Went blind from age-related macular degeneration. Simplistically, a hardening of the arteries, part of the eye, is responsible for our best vision. It's a little more than that. I am an eye surgeon, and I was quite disheartened to see that occur. Age-related macular degeneration can be slowed, prevented, lessened by changes in lifestyle and nutrition. Risk factors are smoking, inactivity, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and improper nutrition. Strokes related to obesity can be prevented to some degree by lifestyle changes, by changing the way we eat, by changing what we eat, when we eat, how much we eat, and why we eat. I could speak for a long time about steps to prevent obesity, things to do to prevent age-related macular degeneration. But that's not the message that I want to communicate. That's something you can see on the internet. That's something you can read in the newspapers. That's not the point here. The point here is that my mother and father, who loved each other immensely, who would do anything for each other, did not possibly do as much of the one thing that was most important, which is to preserve their health for the other person. In each of our lives, we have another person. We have that other person who's we would jump out in front of the car for. Who would we do anything for? Let's think about that person when it comes to the way we eat, the way we exercise, the stress we allow ourselves to be under. Let's go outside ourselves and think of that other person, because it's not truly all about us. And just quite honestly, it's not truly just about that other person, because we affect so many lives, each of us does, that if we are gone today prematurely, we will be missed. Tonight, this Monday night, I would love for each of you to make a pledge to make yourself healthier. Make yourself healthier and start this after the post-toasties.
Thank you very much. timer, please give us 90 seconds for people to write their notes. Everybody please evaluate Dave. And Chris's speech will be next.